it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. Today I have got this enormous box to show you. This uses the Wonderful Romance set. Floral Romance? Wonderful Romance? It's the Wonderful Romance stamp set. And I think it may be Floral Romance. Yes, Floral Romance Suite. The bundle which I will be using is available. I believe it's on low inventory at the moment, but in Europe it is currently available, as is the designer series paper, as is the cardstock, and as are the frosted flower elements, which I will be using. I'm not using the ribbon because it's currently not available. It's on back order, so it will be coming in, but I do like to use things, if I can, that are available, and certainly at the point where I'm filming this video, these items are available. So it's huge, this box. It uses 12 by 12 paper. It is 4.5 inches here, and up to the crease here is just under 8 inches. It's 7 3/4, and it's, I think I want to say 1 1/4. Yes, 1 1/4 inches deep. So it's ideal for all those flat things that you want a pretty parcel in. Now, I've done a double bow closure at the top, purely because I didn't want to seal the top. It would be very easy to seal the top just with a couple of glue dots or some liquid adhesive, but I wanted to be able to open it up. That's why, and it's quite a nice little closure. And as I say, you could just put some liquid adhesive there. I've left this plain as much as anything because I had the ribbon. So I will be doing the same closure this time, but do be aware that you could just leave this as a little kind of handle feature, and maybe put a ribbon here and then close that. If it's a parcel, as in a gift, you may want it to be completely sealed. And we've just got this nice fold here at the top. So let me show you how to make it. You need a full piece of 12 by 12 cardstock, and I'm using the Petal Pink, which is one of the other colours from the pack that goes with the suite. So it's all part of the same suite. You get, let me remind myself, you get Mossy Meadow, Fresh Fig and Petal Pink as your 12 by 12 papers. So it doesn't really matter what you put at the top because we're working in a square. Can you see? Yes, you should be all right. Let's come down a wee bit. I'll be going off the bottom, but I'm sure we'll manage. So, as I say, it doesn't matter where you start. The first score line is at 4.5 inches. Don't worry about writing this down. The measurements will be on my blog, which is, there's a link to this post immediately below. So 4.5, 5 3/4, 10 1/4, and 11 1/2. And then just turn your cardstock, and again, at this point it doesn't matter where. As I say, it doesn't matter where. Let me just check. Top at top, top at top. No, it does matter. So, with the narrow fold at the top, no, with the wide fold, oh, I'll get it right in a minute. Turn it and score at 1 1/4 inches, not 1 1/2. Why have I written down 1 1/4? Or rather 1 1/2. That's 1 1/4. Let me just check. Yeah, no, 1 1/4 it should be. I don't know why I put 1 1/2. It should be 1 1/4. Let me just change that in my notes. Otherwise it will be wrong. So at top 1 1/4. It's that should be 1. It's one of these lovely erasable pens. I love these. 1 1/4. Right. Let's get that sorted then. So 1 1/4, 9, and 11. Right, okay. Now, we need to mark the middles of these. So it doesn't actually matter which way you do it. I've done it so that we've got the small measurement here, which is not at 1 1/2. It's at 1 1/8. Why have my measurements are all wrong? I mean, they're not. So we want to come down to the first score line. So just because all we're doing is marking the centre of that. So that's 1 1/8, and this is 6 7/8. See, that one's right, but the other one isn't. So I want it there. So that's fine. Okay, we got there eventually. Right, let's get rid of my scoreboard and make sure that I amend my measurements, because that should be 1 1/8. See, that's what comes of trying to write things down neatly. Right, okay. So, coming back over to the right side, grab yourself a ruler, which I stupidly put away, and you want to join your mark to the corner. And this is on the narrow strip. So your mark to the corner, and just score, and then again your mark to the corner and score, and the same over here, the mark to the corner, or the corner to the mark, and again mark to corner. Oops, see, my ruler has a lip underneath it, which does mean I have to be quite careful not to go in underneath. Right, okay, so burnish everything. So this is actually coming this way, this is the top, so this we want coming back on itself, and then everything else you burnish in the normal way. Ignore the diagonals, they will sort themselves out in the fullness of time. But everything else, just fold and burnish. So, what can I tell you? If you're a VIP, you will already have heard, probably twice, if you're in my VIP group, you will have heard twice that come the new catalogue in June, we will not have the big shot or any of the accessories. By accessories, I mean plates and platforms and die brushes and those sorts of things. And we also won't have the trimmer because we're developing our own. They're not quite ready yet, but obviously we need things to be ready for the annual catalogue. So both the big shot and the trimmer will be going. The big thing is that if you've got the trimmer and you want blades, you need, they're currently not in stock, but we've got 6 months supply coming in intervals over the next 6 months. Put your email address into the box on my online store where the trimmer blades are, and you'll get an email when the next shipment is available. So, right, we want to get rid of this little piece down at the bottom. So we're going to wedge that and then cut this away. And in fact, we want to wedge there a bit as well. So whilst I'm at the bottom, we want to go straight down the score line, and I go to the, this is the piece I want to keep rectangular, so I go to that side of the score line and then just trim that so that you've got a little wedge so that it's easier to get a square finish. And again, this time I'm coming this side of the score line. And so if you are one of my VIPs, you get the news on a newsletter, but you get the news quicker if you are a member of my Facebook VIP group. So do please remember to sign up for that. I have reminded you in my recent newsletters, couple of times, so do please make the most of that, because it is the way to get news really early. Right, okay, so this piece here we're going to get rid of. So I'm going to trim that away, and it's basically where we scored. And then this I want to come straight down because I want to keep that rectangular. And then the little bit at the edge here, which will be the seam, we want to wedge away. And again, we're coming straight down our rectangle, straight down our, I should say, large rectangle, and then get rid of this flap, which is probably easier for me to do it this way up, so why didn't I do that in the first place? So just trim that away and try and keep that as straight as possible. It's a little bit of a fiddle because you're in a corner, but not too bad. Then I want to round these corners so that we've got a nice finish. So I've got my trio detail punch, which has a corner rounder in it. And to get into these, you just fold along the score line and just tuck in. Just make sure you're right into the corner. And again, and the final one. And there we go, so those pieces we can get rid of. And we also want to stick our designer series paper on. You will need two pieces that are 7 5/8 by 4 3/8, and two that are 7 5/8 by 1 1/8. And I've chosen this wood pattern for this particular version. I used one of the leaf versions for this one, but obviously you can choose whichever one you want, but there is a reason why I specifically chose this one, which we will come on to. So, snail around the edges. You can use tear and tape or liquid adhesive if you would rather, but I'm going to use snail. And then there's just a hair's breadth of a margin around the edge. So try and get those vaguely straight would be good. And the other large piece. Oh, I think I'm coming to the end of a roll. Of course I am. Why wouldn't I have just come to the end of a snail? Never mind, let's grab a refill. She says, famous last words. Grab a refill and I will refill it. So really easy, really quick, just get your refill, take out the yellow piece of card and clip it back into your holder, and then you can get rid of your rubbish. Ideally putting the recyclable in the recyclable and the knot in the knot. Right, let's try that again. Why is it always while I'm filming that these things run out? I do like starting a new refill. There's something quite nice about it. I don't know why, but there just is. There we go. And then our little pieces, I'll just do top, bottom, and down the middle. You probably want to do the two sides separately, but for speed, I'm just doing the top and the bottom. And then again, top, bottom, and down the middle. And as I say, I would do both sides rather than the middle if I were doing this in real life, as it were. Right, so that's that. So, tear and tape. You could use liquid adhesive for this, but tear and tape I'm using for speed, yet again. So, near to, but not over the score line, and right up to the top. And then I like to burnish that so that it's well stuck down. Now, at this point, you need to remember that this is going to be the back, so this is going to be the last piece you stick down. And the reason I say that is because I'm going to use tear and tape, and it's much easier to add it when the box is flat, whoops, than she says, and then sticks things to... You couldn't make it up, could you? Normally it would be easier to do this than to wait until you've put the box together. Okay, let's try that again. And again, I like to burnish that to make sure it's properly down. So, take up the end of your tape. Just tuck that piece in and fold the box over the top. It's symmetrical, the box, so by folding it, everything's magically going to line up. And then you want your... It's too big to get in the camera. You want your flaps in, flap down, and then your tear and tape. I quite like to put a little bit of adhesive just on the edge here, just so that you've got a nice crisp finish and it doesn't gape. So a little bit of liquid adhesive just to help keep body and soul together. And it gives me the opportunity just to get rid of that end. And then remove your... That will stick in a minute when I can put some pressure on it. I need my long ruler, which of course I haven't got to hand. So... Oh, why is it? This worked perfectly easily when I was doing my mock-up, and now it doesn't want to. Put the camera on and everything goes wrong. Right, okay, so let's try that again. We'll push that up, keeping it square, and then just fold that final flap down so you've got a nice neat finish at the bottom. And then rulers are best, but hey, fingers will do. Just push everything down so that you know that's well stuck. So, next thing to do is to punch here. I'm using the Everyday label, classic label, this punch, and all I'm going to do is pop that by eye where I want it to be, and then line up the other side, and then with your pencil you can do this before you put your box together, which is what I had intended to do, but just draw round and then pop your punch in and line it up. Can you see? Hopefully you can. Line up where you've marked and punch, and then those two will line up. Hurrah! So that is that. Where are we time-wise? We are at 18 minutes already. Whoops. Okay, so I need to get a wiggle on. Right. For our front, I've got a piece of Whisper White and the Wonderful Romance dice stamp set, and the dies, which are, there's 15 dies, Wonderful Romance dies, and I'm using the label and one of the leaves, which embosses as it goes, and I've used that already, so I'll pop that away. But I'm also using one of the sentiments, which is the "You are the best thing I never knew I needed." And then in Fresh Fig, because it does go, it's part of the suite, I'm just going to ink that up and stamp on my scrap. And there we go. Get rid of that before I do a fist in it. And then I'm just going to pop this through my die cutter, which currently is still a big shot, but watch this space to see what comes. I'm really excited because whatever comes is going to be amazing. Just think of the Stamparatus and go from there, really. Right, okay, so let's pop that out very gently. And most of the little pieces have come out, but let's get rid of the others. Okay, So let's build this up, and then I will put the belly band on, and I'll talk to you about that in a moment. So I've actually done a bit of surgery on these. So I want to cut one so that it's 2 pieces, and then I want this to be smoothed out. It's not vital, but I just want it to be a little smoother. Right, stamping dimensionals. I want one up at the top here, and that is going to trap one of my flower leaves. So pop that there. And then one at the bottom, the short one at the bottom, and trap that under a dimensional. And while we're doing dimensionals, let's pop another couple on for the rest of the support. And then these two, I'm going to peel the backing off, and this one goes down at the bottom to help build up layers there. And you'll notice I'm sticking it so that it's going to have some dimension. And then again, this one I'm going to come in here so that we've got a bit more there. Right, pop that to one side whilst we take a belly band. This is one of the pieces of vellum from the set. My brain has gone. Now I'm doing this on my trimmer, but you could actually, I won't use my trimmer, I will use my scoreboard again, and purely because it's quicker. And with my take your pick, I'm going to score at the same measurements, so 4.5, just be gentle, so 4.5, 5 3/4, 10 1/4, and 11.5. And then just reinforce those folds, or scores I should say. So 1, and I would just use your fingers for this. 2, 3, ooh, guessing square would be nice. 3, and the final one. So you can see that vellum doesn't need a huge amount of help to fold. Then a piece of tear and tape on this edge, so the unfolded edge. Burnish that down and wrap this round. And I want my seams to meet up, so I want to go that way, because this is where my seam is already, so I want my seams to meet. And then just peel your tear and tape off. Now this is going to be a snug fit. It is intentionally a snug fit because I'm not actually sticking the vellum to the box. I'm just using it as a belly band, so I don't want it to flop down. Right, and then last thing to do with this is to add our stamped die cut piece, and then where are we time-wise? 24 minutes! Help! Okay, I'm actually just going to add 1 tie this time, purely for time, but you could add 2. This is the Pear Pizzazz, which is one of the colours in the suite. And it's the Pear Pizzazz shimmer ribbon. So I'm just going to cut a piece of that and tie it in a nice bow at the top. Trim the corners, or the ends rather, so that they're pretty. there you go. So you've got one really nice, soft, gentle, and then one more, obviously, you know, in your face. But I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you will make this. It's really easy to make, even though I didn't make it look that way. Helps if your measurements are written down correctly, which they will be if you click down onto the blog post link below. If you don't already subscribe, please do. It's in the bottom right hand corner. Then you will go, when you go to YouTube, you'll know that I've put up a new video. It won't fill up your email box unless you hit the notification bell as well. But if you just want to know when you go to YouTube that I've posted a new video, subscribe, and it will be there where you go your subscriptions, and it'll be there. If you don't already sign up to my newsletter, pop over to my website and do that. You can do that there. You can shop either by following the link below or by going over to my website. I'll have all of the products that I've used listed on my blog post, and I say that's below. When you shop with me, if your order is under £150 and over £20, if you use the host code, you get to share in the host rewards for the month, and I get those sent out about the middle of the following month. I'm going to have to cough. So, yes, that would be great if you would like to do that. If you don't use the host code, I'm afraid you don't get the rewards, the host benefits, but you do still get sunflower rewards, and for every 10 sunflower rewards you earn, you get £30 of product of your choice. You just let me know what you want, you send the vouchers back, and I order it up for you. So it's a really great way of getting more for your money. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon.